Welcome back, I'm Tedward. Welcome to a beautiful sunset drive here in Michigan in the all-new 2025 Mazda MX-5. This is the ND3, powered by its 2-liter inline 4-cylinder, 181 horsepower, about 150 pound-feet of torque, retuned suspension, actually it's a new steering rack from what I've been told, and a new differential. This one has the expensive bits on it, the Recaro seats, a $400 adder on this new paint color, and the Brembo brakes behind these BBS wheels. And gluing us to the road is a 205 section tire on the 17-inch wheel all around. Joining me today is Topher Brower of Topher Drives, because we were just out having a nice little dinner out here and we saw this neat little grass strip airport, which unfortunately we can't really see. We said, we've got to drive the MX-5 on this road. So style-wise, there are a few changes since ND2. ND2 we really liked just because it changed the game in terms of, what's that? Sounds good. Ooh,
Mustang.
A lot of Mustangs out here in Michigan. What I loved about ND2 is the revs came up. This one revs to about 7,500 RPM. The 6-speed manual feels super crispy, and I think some of this front fascia is new. This looks a little different if I'm not mistaken.
So this is the club with the BBS Recaro Brembo pack, and you get the little lip kit.
Yeah,
so
this looks nice.
Fresh.
Can you pop the hood for us?
Yes.
And we'll take a peek under here. All the shapes on this car are just so wild, even though the silhouette is still largely the same. You get all these kind of sharp edges everywhere. It's really nice. So open this up, no hood struts, and look at that. I mean, this is great to have a little 4-cylinder sports car still available in 2025 that does this. I mean, it feels like everything good is dying. Anyone who used to belittle the Miata, I think, is changing their tune these days, because there's not much left in the way of a raw, fun sports car. And that's exactly what this is. It's a little roadster that was designed to be emblematic of what the British and Italians were doing back in the day. And it's pretty much front mid-engine, because that's all behind the front axle. So I'd say let's just jump in and take it for a drive, because this thing is so fantastic. In the back, plenty of room for stuff. I mean, we've got a couple little things back here, but yeah, for 2 people and some soft luggage, I think you're going to do just fine. The rear of the car, I think, looks fantastic, but the strangest thing about this is I always wanted to see what it would look like if this was just the round taillight design. Yeah. If these went away, it would look like exceptionally Italian, but also even more Japanese somehow. It's really, I just love the shape of the car. It is funny though, because when you're driving this on regular roads today, you do feel pretty vulnerable out there. It's a small car, and we had an F-350 Super Duty tailgating us, and you get the impending sensation of that bumper being about here. And if he were to not pay attention when we had to stop, well, it's pretty much a decapitation. It's not great, But having a car like this that still kind of passes all the crash standards, does the job, we love to see it, because if you want to drive older stuff, those are legitimate sardine cans. You've got the soft top, which I like. We love an RF, but a soft top to me is still the way to go.
This is better because the RF's too blustery.
It just,
you can drive with the windows up and it's fine.
The shape also looks better. I think it makes more sense stylistically. You got the Bose system with the speakers in the headrests. Sounds plenty fine, but that's not the point. What's the MSRP on this bad boy,
MSRP
Christopher?
Is, are you ready? $39,365. Starting price on the club 6-speed manual, which all the clubs are manuals, $32,830. So this has the $5,000 Brembo BBS Recaro pack, and then it also has the Aero Gray paint, as you mentioned in the intro.
Was that $400?
$450.
Okay,
Yep.
All right, so even more.
Yep.
And that translates on the interior as well, because these doors get paint matched, which you were asking earlier, should you PPF the inside of the door?
I would, because I'd be worried that a passenger would like carelessly shut the door and scratch this beautiful paint.
Yeah, all it would take is like a ring or a watch band or something like that. Yeah. We're doing our best to be kind to it. It's got this new infotainment screen, which you'll see once we start it up. But the only thing that's a little frustrating is that, well, let's get a startup and then we'll talk about that. You see that startup? When you start this up, it revs over like $2,000, which it's fun because you're like, okay, you mean business and you're a plucky little sports car. On the other hand, I'm like, do you care about rod bearings? Because there's like no oil pressure at this point, and it's just immediately going for those revs. So up here, this is
only on CarPlay. It's a touchscreen.
Okay,
let me plug my phone in.
All right, it's only a touchscreen on CarPlay, but it's only a touchscreen on CarPlay when you're stopped. So when you're driving, you can't touch it, which is like a little bonkers, and now it can't be connected. So you're getting a real world example of the setup. Yeah. But it does work. You know, we haven't had any problems. I just realized this is a taillight.
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's go. We got heated seats.
Yes.
While we're waiting for that to happen.
These seats, there it goes. The seats are pretty complex. They're heated. They've got speakers in the headrests, and they're Recaros.
Don't you dare leave this top down in the rain, because that is going to get expensive. No. So like you can touch things, and that's great. But once we start moving, you can no longer do that, and you have to use this, which to me is actually less safe. But whatever. All right, so I am going to gift you this. We're going to put that on hold, and I'm going to put that probably down to there. Cool. You can keep an eye on my levels.
This is telling you to go left, but go right. Yeah. If you want to go back the way you can.
Yeah.
There's actually another road we might slightly detour on that's better.
Sure, just point and we'll be good. We've got a handbrake. We've got a 6-speed manual with a short throw shifter. A little bit of space for my phone, which I'm going to immediately jettison from that cubby because I'm going to hit a 1-2 and chirp the tires. Miata suspensions are always just like a little plush, and that's a great thing. So we'll pull out here, and we're just gonna start from a dig. We've got traction on and everything. There's no sport modes. What was their claim 0 to 60 on this?
5.5 seconds.
That's quick.
Yeah.
That's really quick for a Miata.
It feels it.
It rips. This thing's fantastic. And I think that's like a really genuinely necessary thing to sell this car for A, $40,000, and B, to the public who's used to like ridiculous speed now. EVs have really ruined the game in terms of perceived acceleration.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying we need all of our cars to be fast, but you do kind of need this car to keep up with some stuff. And it rips. It feels good too. I love knowing that there's a limited slip diff in the back, because it just makes everything flow the way it's supposed to. And this is one of those cars that if you can drive this, you've got car control.
Yep.
You've dialed it in.
So the ND3, it's got a new diff, and they actually tuned it to oversteer less.
Interesting.
Understeer less, oversteer less.
Okay. And that, you know, honestly, that tracks. I have to remember I don't have auto rev match. I've been driving like auto rev match cars for like all the last 48 hours, and gotta do it myself. The only thing I would gripe about is that I want the throttle to be a little stabbier. Yeah. Like if I go for it, I'm gonna show you a downshift, and I'm gonna go wide open for the blip. That was a wide open downshift, and it just gave me enough. So I would honestly like it to be a little more eager for those revs. Only tuning gripe I have off the bat, but otherwise pretty darn good. Honestly, it is good that these oversteer a little less, because the last time I drove an ND2 on a racetrack, it was wet at Road America, and it was abundantly oversteer happy, to the point where I thought, they sell this to people?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the thing, is like they wanted to make it more usable for everyone that buys it, which I respect. And you can still get an ND3 sideways. It's not impossible. It's just
I think stability is always a valuable thing to do to a car.
Yeah,
it's just that when you dial out understeer or oversteer by dialing in a ton of understeer, that's when it just becomes very unfun.
Yep.
It's a beautiful night out here. Michigan, man, like there's just so many different sections of this state. There's a lot of goodness in it.
Yeah, this is the town of Tecumseh.
Tecumseh?
You're from Michigan. Tecumseh.
We came to come see you.
so fast that we caught traffic so quick. Like we just caught up to traffic in like a normal manner, even flat out.
And I get to like work for it and
Yeah.
also not go to jail. I was driving Chris Amos's, the Topher's Camaro SS1LE today, and like I'm doing no lift shifts everywhere. It was just an absolute animal, and it's very easy to do a 0 to 100 and like not even think about it. And this thing, I'm gonna do that because I'm probably gonna blind the camera with just the rear view mirror with the sun in the background. This thing, like, I love working for a little bit of acceleration, and it is fun.
You notice there's no auto climate control?
No auto climate control. I think the climate control is whatever the actual climate is.
That doesn't bother me too much. I can see some people complaining for 40 grand though. Oh, not only is there no auto climate control, there's no auto headlights. So I just leave them on.
Ah, okay.
With a small car like this, it's not a bad idea to just have the headlights on anyway.
I agree.
So, and when you shut the car off, they auto turn on. So just leave them on all the time.
As a GT car, look at how low these revs are at, like, let's get up to 70 miles an hour. It's below 3,000 RPM. That's impressive. So it's a nice, tall, cruising 6th gear. And with the windows up, it's very unobtrusive with wind noise. And the suspension's supple and critically damp, so it's just like getting a bump and taking it, and we're done. It's very comfortable. I could spend hours and hours in this thing. What's the fuel economy?
34 highway.
34 highway.
26 city, 29 combined.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Look at all the revs I can play with here. The best thing about Miata is there's some like body roll to it, you know? You've got to, it rewards some smoother driving than even I was doing back there.
That was great. For someone that's never seen that curve, you took that like perfectly.
It's great. And like, I think the car allows you to adapt to a road quickly and just utilize it. But, you know, Miata's, it's a short little wheelbase, and it's a miracle that it somehow both is short and nimble like that, but it also manages to be a great GT car.
Yeah, it's
you know,
cozy.
At speed, at 60, 70, 80 miles an hour, it's just great. And this is like the big sell on an MX-5 is that it's possible to have a reliable experience in a vehicle like this, which is just the opposite of what all of our forefathers experienced in their Triumphs and MGs and Jaguars and and Alfa Romeos and all of the broken down, hopeful drivers in the cars of this size, and then yet here we are just blasting around.
Yep. You still see NA Miatas going strong from 1989 and up.
It's amazing. Oh, what a perfect little sunset cruiser.
This night is just perfect.
This is gorgeous.
This is like the route that I take. Like if I just need to go for a drive, like I'll come down this road and I'll take a right at the stop sign, and there's more curves that way.
Great.
But this is just the best. Like I took this route in a Hummer EV one night with all the roof panels off. It's just amazing.
I'd have to drive pretty darn far. I love it when they put those up. Like, hey, drunk. Even the drunks in their pickup trucks, something's happening. Yeah. What was that? Cross traffic does not stop. That's a valuable sign for survival. Yeah, that's great. That's what you want to see. Need a little angle on that Mazda. It's actually angled the wrong direction.
It's angled down.
It's angled at me. Maybe that's actually a cheat to make me think the car has more torque than it does.
Could be.
So a friend of mine out in California, Dave Coleman, it's like a big Mazda. He's one of the big dudes at Mazda, and him and his wife Sarah, they've got a Lancia Fulvia that's super rad. Oh my god, this is gorgeous.
This is banked also.
And oh my god, this has camber.
Yeah.
I'm gonna attack it a little bit. We'll just do it in third because it's got good mid-range torque. Oh, the thing just hooks up.
Yeah.
It's really wonderful. But they've got a Lancia Fulvia, and Dave Coleman, him and his wife are going through it, and they're like rebuilding this engine and everything. But they actually found it in Europe. They drove it through Europe, and then they brought it to LA. But when they're not driving that because it's down right now, they're out cruising around in ND3s.
Yeah.
And the name of the game with the Miata, it's not to necessarily set lap times. It's not to necessarily say we can pull 1.2 G on a skid pad. It's to say that like it's playful, it's fun, it's fast enough. And then if you so choose to make it faster, to make it more nimble, you can do your own suspension. You can add sticky, grippy tires. You can do all these things. And some of the fastest cars I've ever driven in on a racetrack have been Miatas, because they corner unlike nothing else, and the effort that it takes to remove weight from these cars is like it's nothing. It's nothing. It's not like, when you're taking an E92 M3 and trying to turn it into a track rat. You have to dissect. You have to just gut those cars, and this is just like, okay, whatever. Like pull some plastic out, I guess. I can't believe they add camber to these corners.
Yeah, just the best.
I would love it if this engine was a little louder.
Yeah.
Just want a little more out of it. And it's not even just for the sensation of hearing an engine. It's more just so I know what to do. Just want like a little more grunt just so I'm more in tune with it. But it's got grunt. And that's the thing. That's why I want it louder, because I think it would maybe remind me of like an old Alfa Romeo if it had some grunt to it with a louder exhaust, which I think it has naturally. I think you just have to do it. And again, these usually are templates for a lot of people, where they start with this car and then they create their own thing with it.
Exactly.
But yeah, we'll slow down. I want to just show you what it kind of sounds like through a couple gears at lower speeds with less wind noise. I find myself still needing to adjust to a smooth 1.2. I have a hard time perfectly dialing it in. I love just hitting it.
Smooth enough.
My 2.3 and 3.4, no problems. But yeah, I don't know. There is a little bit of adaptation that I have to go through with this car. Loving these brakes. But yeah, see the turn in? It's like you can see the body roll before the car actually does its move. So you have to take that into account. And this is a car that really values smooth weight transfer and smooth inputs. It's the perfect car to learn on. It's the perfect car to go back as a true north, because sometimes we drive stuff that drives for us. Driving GT3s and stuff like sometimes you can feel like a real superhero driving cars like that, because they allow you to be superheroes in them. But I tell you, you put some of those GT3 drivers in one of these bad boys, see if they spin on a racetrack.
Yeah.
Because this is, I swear, you're more likely to spin in this thing than you are in that.
Yup, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh my goodness. Perfect night for a top-down cruise in the Miata. Is it okay to continue calling it a Miata?
I think so. I mean, doesn't it say Miata on the Monroney?
I just feel like they're always MX-5.
Oh, MX-5.
Yeah.
Well, I always call it a Miata. Someone will get offended, but
Let them.
let them. I have a subscriber, someone commented on one of my videos once and timestamped a corner on this road, and and they said, no way, you're local to me. I spun my Boxster off that corner into that house's front yard.
No.
And I'm like, oh my God, that's incredible.
I will admit that when I look for real estate, I absolutely consider where it's situated in terms of roads, because I'm like, oh, someone's going to crash into my house.
Yeah.
I see how you monsters drive. Don't come near me.
Yeah, cooking to spin a Boxster on one of those corners.
Is this a tour bus?
Yes.
It's a proper winner.
Is it?
Oh, man.
Is it Chapel?
Oh, man. I love an RV. That thing's sick.
This is kind of the last good corner.
Yeah. And we'll shut her down near some driveways. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is this is a great car for the responsible enthusiast who doesn't want to be spending a ton of money on consumables, whether that be fuel, tires, or brakes. You know, it's a light car. You're going to be able to buy relatively cheap tires. You're probably not going to be replacing pads very often, and it's not going to drink a lot of fuel. So,
our average is 30 miles to the gallon.
Like, what are you talking about?
88 miles of this sort of thing, and it's still doing
30 miles per gallon. That's insane.
It's hilarious.
Straight on?
Yep, keep on straight. Actually, there is this.
Or I guess it's the left, yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit of chop in the road.
Yeah. Good ride test.
Yeah. Well, that's actually a really valuable thing to have in a sports car, too, because, you know, we've driven really rigid, stiff, Nürburgring winning lap time cars, whether it be like an STO or a Technica or a GT4 RS or a GT3 RS. They'll spit you off the road when you hit bumps like this. It just bounces away. And to have a compliant chassis with some body roll that can really like scoot its little tush back and forth, like, look at that. It's great.
That F430 I was just driving was not a fan of the bumpy. That was before Ferraris had bumpy road modes.
Yeah,
Like,
the 458 really captured the market on that feeling when it came to softening the chassis. But yeah,
this car is like, you could take this down a dirt road, like you'd be fine.
100%. You could take this down a dirt road at 80.
Yeah.
This is a Raptor compared to a GT4 RS.
Yeah, it is. This is, when they say 25, they mean it. The only town I've ever gotten a ticket in was this town. And occasionally, a cop will sit right here, right next to the flashing 25. In
Oh my
driveway.
God, that's
And
savage.
if you're going 30, they will pull you over. I got a ticket for 32 and a 25 in this town.
This is crazy.
Yeah, so I keep it exactly at 25.
Look at this. We got a Fit and a Fiesta ST. Little hatchback, guys. All right, so tactility-wise, I think things I especially love this shifter. I think it's a real nice placement in the car. It's really easy to find your gears. The action is lovely and premium. The steering, I think the ratio is great. I think the tactility may be a little bit lacking. You go left or right here?
Go right.
I think the tactility is just a little bit lacking. Like, I don't get like a ton of road feel, but it's not to the point where I'm like not understanding what's going on with the front of the car. I just think it's like, it's almost like a luxurious feel, you know?
Yeah, steering changed for ND2. Well, and ND3. This is different steering. Oh my gosh.
Check
Who cares what I was saying?
this
Look
out.
at this.
Oh my God. Wow.
We need all of that in the video. What does it say on the back?
Cursed Herman, the dead sled. What's up, dude? Oh my God, what on earth are we looking at?
Welcome to Saline, Michigan.
Wow. Okay, back to the car. The throttle map, I think, just needs to be a little stabbier. Because, look, I'm going to just show you wide open throttle. That's wide open throttle. I want to be able to rev match quicker because the gearbox allows for those downshifts to occur that fast, but the throttle doesn't.
Yeah.
So that's probably something you could fix with like a pedal commander or something.
Oh, yeah.
And then, yeah, I mean, what a great little package. I wish they cost less, but I do think it's worth every penny at this point, especially given how expensive cars are. And if you want like a fun little maybe second or third car, 40 G's out the door, not so bad. So, I don't know, I think that does it for me in the ND3 as a first impression sunset drive.
Yeah.
I would say we ended at DQ, but we're going to Culver's.
Here we are. And that should be after the it should be us in the Culver's drive-thru.
So anyway, that's going to do it for the ND3. We're going to go to Culver's because I'm going to have my first custard concrete, I think. And I just try to hit all the Midwest spots while I'm here. So thank you guys so much for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. See, I just need a little more out of that rev. I just need a little more. I'm to the floor. Okay, anyway, don't forget to respect the drive, and I'll see you in the next one. That's a Michigan left right there. A little right blinker action. That's what my buddy Eddie does all the time. He's the worst. Every time you're following him, he puts on the wrong blinker and then whips the car the other way.
To be funny? Or?
To be funny.
Oh.
Because he's so funny. He's so funny, Eddie. It's so funny. Whoa, I farted.
No.